Okay, we're back again. We're going to touch on family life. God, in chapter 2, Genesis chapter 2, God institutes marriage, and he also institutes what we would know as family. So when he brings Adam, Adam finds he's named everything, and he finds that he's alone. He realizes, wait, something's missing. And God says, yeah, it's not good that man's alone. And in fact, God's going to make a companion, a helpmate, you might term the term is helpmate. Not a slave, but a helper, to be alongside him and to share the work and to share fellowship and responsibility and all of these tasks that we face in life. Adam, it isn't good that he would be alone. That's the word from God. It's good for him to have a companion, a helpmate, a wife. So in chapter 2, verse 21, God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam. So Adam slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed it up afterwards. And the rib God fashioned into a woman, and he brought the woman to the man. Adam said, wow, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She should be called woman because she was taken out of man. And verse 24 is where God institutes marriage. He institutes a family unit in this verse. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And this isn't just in a physical sense of sexual relations, but they're joining back to what was originally kind of the concept of Adam being alone but no fellowship. Adam has now had a portion of him removed and refined and then joined back with him in marriage in this unity of, quote, one flesh, but their purposes and their personalities and their roles and kind of their qualities are slightly different than if Adam had just simply been himself. So God is doing this beautiful miracle of taking from Adam something that adds to Adam in a greater way as Eve does, rather than Adam just continuing on by himself. And this is important to kind of begin the concept of what is marriage, what is family life. God is instituting the family right here. And when you have a process where the kids grow up, they get to the point where they're ready to move out, they're ready to get married, they're ready to move on. There is the need for them to honor their mother and father. But this actually is the priority, is they need to be able to leave that family unit and create their own new family unit with their own preferences, their own traditions, their own personality that's completely altogether different from the household that they grew up in. And this becomes a conflict in kids in this day and age. They're either altogether kind of overrun by their family and the parents are still running, giving input, giving too much advice. And as parents, we need to be able to stop, give them space, and allow them to go ahead and grow in that leave and cleave. They're to join to one another in an entirely separate family unit that we're not to be impacting and needling at and giving advice and trying to step into. We're responsible until they leave. Then they're to cleave to one another and grow and mature. And then it becomes a friendship relationship more so than a mother-father-child relationship. And that's a necessary process in life. It's necessary for growth and maturity and independent family units that aren't influenced all the time by parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, or some type of family tradition that goes way back, that they are free to leave and cleave and establish their own family unit with their own personality that would reflect who that new couple is. So it's very important in that sense. I do want to also touch on the idea of Eve being brought to Adam and the roles within marriage real quick. For Adam, he didn't have Eve brought to him as a slave to do his bidding all the time. God brought her as a twice refined part of who Adam was. So there are portions of Adam's personality at creation that have been kind of peeled away, and now they're part of Eve, but they're no longer part of Adam. But as they come back together, combined, the entirety of who Adam was before is now there, but the qualities that are of Eve are even refined more than what they were in Adam, because that's how God worked it. He created something better out of two than the singular of who Adam was alone. And that's how marriage works. That's how marriage ought to be. As the wife comes alongside the husband, she's not under him. She's alongside him. She's helping him. And his responsibility is to be the leader and to be the head of the home, we're told in 1 Corinthians. And that responsibility stops with him. But he's wise if he seeks out her advice, her input, because like we think about Adam having the whole of both personalities in him, it's wise for the husband to take input and to seek input and to be prayerful with his wife before making decisions, major decisions. But in order for there to be order, God holds the husband responsible for final decisions or direction of the home or events that happen in the home. That's on the husband. He's going to be bearing the responsibility. And we'll see that as we get into the fall in Genesis chapter 3. So those are kind of nutshell topics I wanted to touch on. A couple of things real quick, and hopefully that's informative. There's a lot more New Testament that kind of builds on those topics. But in kind of the encapsulated way, we see the infancy of these ideas in Genesis that will begin building out through the rest of Scripture as God gets into some of these topics in the Proverbs and a lot of different areas, and then in the New Testament when Jesus speaks upon them. So hopefully that's a blessing to you.